Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world. Talking about the team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. Well, the time has finally come. I've been waiting for it. You've been waiting for it. I think Geno Smith has been waiting for it. I think everyone's been waiting for it. The Raiders and Geno Smith finally struck an agreement on a contract extension. Finally. But there are further implications about what happened today. A couple of big moves. It's a Geno Smith signing and something else that have huge implications on this upcoming draft. And we're going to get to that. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's a great way for you to support this channel. It's absolutely free. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support this channel besides doing absolutely nothing and just watching the video, which, of course, I always do appreciate. But you're here. You might as well just subscribe. You know you like the stuff. You know you like the Raiders. Let's just do it. What are we waiting for here? All right. So let's talk a little bit about the contract, and then we'll move forward from there. Sound good? Cool. All right. The contract is a 2-year extension worth $85.5 million with $66 million of those guaranteed. All right. So basically, there's this season coming up and then 2 more seasons. So Geno Smith is contracted through the 2027 season. What does that tell you? That tells you that the brass with the Raiders are pretty confident that Geno Smith is going to be their starting quarterback for the near future, which is a good thing because, I mean, they traded a 3rd-round pick for him, which is, no small thing. It's a pretty good pick. It's in the top half of the 3rd round. So they locked him up for 2 more years. So they're going to have at least 3 years of Geno Smith as the quarterback. He doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body because he sat for quite a few years as a backup for like almost 6 years, I think. He came back strong. That's why he's very mobile still. I think it's going to be a good thing for everyone involved. Pete Carroll has the utmost confidence in Geno Smith and his ability. But make no mistake, Pete Carroll's all about competition, all right? So if Geno Smith is going to be our quarterback of the future, he's going to have to win that spot. But the contract does make it a little bit sweeter. We'll get some more about that in a second. There are huge implications about what else happened with a different quarterback in the AFC. Joe Milton was traded from the New England Patriots to the Dallas Cowboys for a 5th-round pick. So it was Joe Milton and a 7 going from the Patriots to Cowboys, and the Cowboys sent a 5th-round pick to the Patriots. You're thinking to yourself, man, that doesn't seem like a lot, considering he was a 6th-round pick and he showed that he can play. I mean, last season he started a game, the last game against the Bills, was like 22 of 29, 240-something yards, a touchdown, ran for another touchdown, didn't turn the ball over, looked pretty good. Looked like he can handle, an NFL offense and play against NFL defenses, which that's more you can say that about anyone in the draft right now. They haven't shown they can play against an NFL defense because they haven't done it yet. So the implications are pretty far-reaching because in a last video I said that the team to leapfrog to make sure that you were able to get a developmental quarterback like let's say it's going to be a Shadur Sanders is not the Raiders anymore, and even less so now because they gave Geno Smith that huge extension. It's going to be jumping the Jets at 7. Now the Jets did give Justin Fields a nice little chunk of change, but it's nothing earth-shattering that they can't get out of. All right. So I identified a couple of different teams. One team was the Dallas Cowboys may want to move up from 12 to 6 to get that quarterback. Well, now that they have their backup quarterback in Joe Milton, there's really not the need to do that anymore. You're better off just strengthening the team that you already have now because they lost Cooper Rush and they're paying a lot less money for Joe Milton, who, I mean, let's just be honest, has better tools than Cooper Rush does. So if they can develop with the remaining years left on the Dak Prescott contract, they might have something going with Joe Milton. Again, I couldn't care less what happens with the Cowboys. I'm worried about what's going to happen with the Raiders in the draft. So that was a potential trade back scenario with the Cowboys. There is still the Saints. The Saints are at number 9. They have this terrible contract with Derek Carr. I don't think there's any Saints fans that are like true Saint fans, like Saints fans before Derek Carr got there that like Derek Carr. I don't think anyone likes him. The only Saints fans that like Derek Carr were Derek Carr fans who were Raider fans who turned Leva and now are Saints fans. That's it. I haven't heard any positive from any Saints fans, any Saint content creators or anything. So They have this year, and then after this season, they can get out of the contract. No more guaranteed money. See ya, goodbye. That's probably what's going to happen. So, are they a potential trade candidate still with the Raiders to leapfrog the Jets at 7 to get up to 6? They're at number 9, so it's not crazy. 3 spots is not nuts. So who knows? That's still on the table. There's another thing going on right now with another team because of the Joe Milton trade that's going to be a little bit of a trickle-down effect and could impact the draft at the top. Reports are there were quite a few teams that were throwing a lot of picks and a lot of attention towards the Patriots for Joe Milton. One of them was the Raiders. Another one was the Giants. Well, apparently, the Patriots were like, look, Joe Milton, we don't want to do you like that. Where do you want to go? Okay, you want to go to Dallas? Fine. We'll take a lesser pick, which has been reported that they took the worser deal out of the 3 that they had out there to send Joe Milton to Dallas. And yes, I did say worser. Get over it. So, what does that mean? Well, it depends on how the Giants saw Joe Milton as a prospect over who's available in the draft when they go at 3, which is probably going to be Shedeur Sanders. If they feel that Joe Milton was a better long-term prospect than Shedeur Sanders, and that's why they were going after him, because I doubt that they're going to sign 2 veteran quarterbacks and try to trade for a third and then draft Shedeur Sanders anyway. But it could be that they're like, well, if we're going to draft a developmental quarterback, maybe we pass on Shedeur at 3 and go for someone else in rounds 2 or 3 as a developmental quarterback. It's tricky, it's risky, but it's definitely possible. So we could be in a scenario where there's a nice little slide for Shedeur Sanders to go maybe even past 9 at the Saints. Who knows? But what I do know is if Shedeur Sanders does pass the Giants at 3, the next target is jumping the Jets at 7. So I really do feel that that Joe Milton being traded from the Patriots to the Cowboys and not to the Giants is going to affect the way that the Giants want to draft. It's still all up in the air right now. It's lying season. Who knows what everyone's going to do? But there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. All right, let's just forget all that. Let's just focus on the Raiders, because what does this mean for the Raiders in their draft and moving forward? Well, you're going to give a guy $66.5 million over 2 seasons, guaranteed money. You probably are pretty sure that he's going to be your quarterback of the future. Well, of the near future, at least. So I highly doubt we're taking a quarterback at 6 if we do pick at 6. What I do feel is we're going to pick probably somebody in the front. It's going to be either an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. That's Spytek's MO. The 10 years he was with Tampa, they drafted either in the first round a offense or defensive lineman 6 out of the 10 times. That's just who they are, man. That's just what they do. So this tells you a few things. Now, Smith's deal is about middle of the road for a quarterback round, which is what we should expect, okay? I'm not saying Geno Smith is an elite quarterback, and he's definitely not a scrub. He's right there in the middle of the pack. Depending on what kind of year he has, he can be a very good quarterback or he can be just an average quarterback. But we did pay him as such, so it's a fair deal for both sides. Geno Smith gets 3 years, this one plus 2 more of security and money, and we get a quarterback that our head coach is extremely comfortable with. So after the first round, I really do think that the Raiders are going to go for a developmental quarterback, depending on who's there. There could be another slide, depending on who's available and what happens, because honestly, there's just so many good prospects in other positions, and there's not too many quote-unquote quarterback-needy teams that need a quarterback right now. Everyone seems to be pretty much set on what they're looking for, and they have a capable quarterback to at least start the season for them right now. So who are the names out there? You know, people talk about Jalen Milroe and Quinn Ewers had good visits with the Raiders. There's Will Howard's out there. There's quite a few good quarterbacks out there to be had in the rounds 2 and 3. It all depends on what your flavor is, honestly, because there's a big pack of guys that you can get from 2 to even the 5th round who are not too much different. So I really don't expect us to get one very high, but I do expect us to get one in this draft as far as quarterbacks go. Guys, it is a great news for us. It's really exciting news because Maxx is really pumped up about it. Pete Carroll's really pumped up about it. It wasn't a It wasn't a blow up in your face scenario, kind of like the Hassan Reddick Jets scenario last season. You trade for a guy and you can't sign him. No, he's here. He's going to be our quarterback for quite some time. And I really do think it's going to be a good thing for us moving forward to have kind of that position set and be able to build a team around the quarterback position, which is what Pete Carroll said he wanted to do initially, is build a team around the quarterback. But now we have a very capable quarterback who's been shown to put up good numbers and win some games. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Really appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the contract extension of Geno Smith. 2 years, $85.5 million with $66.5 guaranteed. So it's going to be for 3 years. This one plus 2 more. Let me know what you think about the potential draft implications of Geno Smith getting his extension and being around for quite some time, and also the Joe Milton trade from the Patriots to the Cowboys. How does that affect the draft? Is there still going to be some movement at the top? Let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's a great way for you to support this channel. It's absolutely free, and it's the bare minimum you can do to help support this channel besides doing absolutely nothing and just watching the video, which, of course, like I said, I always do appreciate. All right, guys, that's my time. Appreciate it. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.